Zoe Coombes on Delivered Live.
Thank you. Hi. Hello. This is so weird. I feel like, obviously you guys are getting this all the time, but I just feel so shell-shocked to be out of the house. It's bizarre. I think you're seeing people like newborn babies just step into the light for the first time. It's also, just for those of you at home, this is delightful. This is a lovely setup and it is so great to be here. But just over here to my right is just a whole crew in quarantine masks taking away equipment, and I just feel like they know something that I don't know. I haven't even started yet. I couldn't have stunk out the gig that badly yet. Yes, hello. It's 2020. What a year. It's 2020. It's amazing. I feel like we're living in the future, right? Like, obviously right now we're living in some sort of futuristic nightmare, but we're living, it's crazy to me how quickly time passes. Like, it feels like one day you're a kid, and the next you're in year 7, and the next everyone you know is having babies. And then you're in year 8. Hey, gotcha. Someone in the crew laughing, they're listening. So that is an old joke, though. That is a very old joke. I thought I'd start with something else. But when I wrote that joke, I wrote that joke so long ago that people were like, too soon. Too soon. That's a new one, though. That is a new one. I am from the country, so that's just true. That's just true, that is. You horrible people. So it's bizarre right now. I like I say, it feels so weird being out of the house. Like, I am essentially isolating with my girlfriend in a studio apartment. So it's just like we're spending so much time together, just taking like lesbian codependence to a whole nother level. Like, I know that the government, advice is to stay 1.5 metres apart, but I don't think they meant that as a maximum. The other day I had a thought and I was like, I think that was one of hers. And I've started doing all that. We've totally run out of things to talk about. I think we all have run out of things to talk about. I haven't spoken about virus protection this much since my mum purchased a Windows PC. But, hey, so I've started doing, I've tried all the things. I tried baking. I think that is best left up to the bakers, to be honest. I tried baking, but I did start brewing beer as well. And I realised I've just started accumulating, there's 5 different kinds of yeast in my house. And only one of them is mine. They like that one. So it's 2020, right? And I have been with all this extra time just being kind of nostalgic. So I started going back through some of my old notebooks and diaries and things, especially from high school. And I thought that I might share, I brought one along and I thought that I might share some of what I found. Thought it might give me some sort of insight into who I am. So, here we go. I was a waitress for years. For years I waited in tables. They never arrived. It's just shit like that. It's just dumb jokes. It's just shitty jokes. Do you want another one? Yeah, all right, here we go. In design and technology, we learn all sorts of skills. Carpentry, leatherwork. It was mostly boring. Except for steel joinery, which was actually riveting. Yeah, it's just dumb shit. This isn't the actual, this is a prop diary. This isn't from, but fun fact, I have heaps of notebooks and they got stolen pre-COVID. They were in the olden days. They were stolen. I was on my way to a gig and I had a whole bunch of notebooks in my car and the car was stolen. We got the car back, but the notebooks were gone. And I just tell you, and you at home, I just tell you all that just so if, after this, when we're allowed, the things start opening up and you see some junkie down at the laugh hole or whatever going oh, my mum's got a Windows PC. That's my gear, all right? That is my gear. I haven't forgotten, so just let me know. Let me know. And tape it, because that'd be great. I love junkies. I do actually. I mean heroin junkies. I've got a real soft spot for an old school junkie. They're adorable. They just want a chocky milk. Don't they? They're cute. They've got their obvious problems. Junkies can't live with them because they'll steal all your stuff. I do mean heroin junkie. Meth obviously is a different thing. Although, fun fact, did you know that meth, or crystal as it was known, was actually used as it was a gay party drug for a long time before anyone really knew about it, before it became like an epidemic, and then straight people started using it wrong. Like a lot of queer culture, actually. So what I'm saying is, stop taking meth. Stop saying, yes, queen. It's not yours. You're doing it wrong. You're like a divorced dad on Twitter. You don't understand the medium. Another one of these? How am I going for time? Fine, I've got 2 minutes to go. All right, great. What is time? What does time mean anyway? Who knows? I'll do an hour. Nice callback. Which bit should I do? So, all right. So, I'm 35, right? I'm 35, and even obviously right now we're living within a time of huge change. But I realised even before this, like my whole world, like I've gone through the world that we're living in now is so different to the world that I grew up in. Like huge changes, like the internet, and like even things that we take for granted. Like, do you remember where you were the first time that you heard about puppetry of the penis? Do you remember, like now we just take it for granted. We just, there they are, they're out there in the world, just, folding their dicks into hamburgers. But the bun is made of the balls, which you wouldn't expect that. But we think puppetry of the penis, which is like, oh yeah, whatever. But at the time, like it was revolutionary. Puppetry of the penis, you're not going with me on this. I can tell you're not going with me, but it did, I'm serious. It changed the world. Like it changed comedy. It changed culture. Puppetry of the penis was the net of the 90s. It was I started on that because I don't know how to do comedy anymore or speak around other people. But it was like the net of the 90s. It was a revolution. It changed the world. They've been doing puppetry of the penis has been going for 23 years. Can you imagine how fucked up their dicks are? Just useless pieces of junk, just unusable junk, like most comedy, to be fair. So, they're on the money there. But puppetry of the penis came out in 1997. Which is the year that, incidentally, that I turned 13, right? And I remember on my 13th birthday, I was given 2 pieces of advice from an older woman. She was 14. And she said to me, okay. She was straight. You can tell by the voice. She said, okay. I'm going to give you, now that you're a teenager, I'm going to give you 2 pieces of advice. 1, never drink more than 2 bottles of vodka. Which is fair enough. I mean, that's good. That's good advice. That's technically, I can't falter on that one. And 2, if a boy asks you to go for a walk, go. Now, I think someone got fingered in a park and she loved it. Good on her. 5 stars. Would recommend. She got a good one. Good on her, which is rare, actually. The reviews are not good for teenage fingering. On Uber Eats, 2.5 stars at best. This fingering gave me food poisoning. This fingering arrived cold. So jiggle around, it wasn't even in the container anymore. That was an ad lib. But thanks, guys. You're a great crowd. So I don't know where I'm going with this. But basically, those bits of information, that has always stuck with me. That it's useless information, useless advice, but it's always stuck with me because of the conviction with which it was said. I've never been that convinced about anything, but I've realised it's the sort of conviction that can only come with total ignorance, right? You can't be that sure about anything. It's the same tone that my scripture teacher used when she told us heaven is a city roughly the size of Sydney. Okay, normally that gets laughed because it's a bit absurd, and I wouldn't normally end on it. I'll tell you one joke to end. Shall I? One more? Yeah? Is that all right? Timing-wise? Cool. Who knows? What are the rules here? I don't know. They'll just cut me off, can't you? Is anyone watching? You just cut off the stream. I wouldn't know. But, okay. So, drop bears. I'm just jumping. Normally I'd segue into this, but coronavirus, who cares? Drop bears, right? We're so proud of drop bears, Australians, aren't we? We're fucking proud of them. But I was thinking about it recently, a while ago, obviously, I was travelling and I saw this guy and I'd never seen someone so proud. He was a white Australian guy and he just convinced a bunch of, a busload of Asian tourists that drop bears existed. He was so proud, but it's I realised, while he's going idiots, Those guys think there are drop bears. They're like, that guy thinks his tattoo means serenity. They win. They win. All right, thanks. This has been delightful. See you later. Cheers. Thanks for having me.